Okay, if you're like me and you've woven in the ends of your yarn to the back of your work, but then over time as the piece is used or washed, they just will not stay hidden. I don't care how much tail I've woven in, somewhere along the line, they're going to come sneaking their little heads out. And I do not like that. This is the reverse of my work. So I'm going to show you what I do to make sure that my little tail, after I've woven in at least, an inch to an inch and a half through other crochets and loops, etc. I take the yarn, of course you'd probably have a longer tail than this, but this is just to show you how I've gone back and made a few corrections on a piece. I take it and I take the 4-ply yarn and I just take a smaller needle than what I crocheted it with, and I split the thread so that there's 2 and 2. Just untwist it and separate them. You can use a needle if you don't want to use a crochet hook. Okay, now I've got these 2 pieces, and to make sure that this tail, now that it's woven in all around here about 1.5 inches or 2 inches, I want to make sure it stays on the back of my work. So since this is like a coverlet, the front is all that's ever seen anyway. It's not like a real afghan. I'm going to take this loop that this was coming under, and I'm just going to pull half the thread back through. So now I got a piece on either side of this loop, and all I'm going to do is tie a surgeon's knot. Now, surgeon's knot is just a square knot, and it's just what makes it a surgeon's knot is you're going to wrap it twice, like that, the first time. Of course, you're going to pull it down snugly. Don't pull it till it puckers your work. Just pull it down snugly. Okay, you can either reverse your hands, but just do a square knot. You go right over left one time, then left over right the next. So that's my knot. Now pull it really snug. And then just for good measure, I just do it one more time. Now, I take my snips and I just snip that off close, because the tail is nice and woven in here with lots of, I don't know how far I probably did this piece, probably at least 2 inches. I weave a good amount in and under these loops. But then to make sure that that little fuzzy part stays on the back of my work, I tie these little knots and trim them off. And they cannot peek their heads through anymore, because you see right here where one is peeked through? I hate that. So that's a good way to get them all tucked in. Enjoy!